So before we jump in and install MongoDB, let's take a real quick look at what it is. So MongoDB is an open source document database, which is a type of NoSQL database. It's by far the most popular. It's cross-platform. It's on Windows, Linux, and Mac. MongoDB was first created back in 2007 by a company called 10gen, which is now just known as MongoDB, and it's been used on popular websites like Craigslist, eBay, Foursquare, and more. MongoDB was built for today's web. Relational databases are great for certain tasks such as calculations and operations, but they lack in many areas such as big data, social networks, and cloud computing. Alright, so MongoDB was built for these things. It can handle not only structured data, but unstructured and semi-structured data. It can support millions of users as well as hundreds of terabytes of data, and it was also built to adapt to new development methods and technology. Alright, so MongoDB is going to be around for quite a long time. So as I said in the last video, MongoDB uses the data model, and data is stored in documents. These documents are essentially JSON objects. It actually uses BSON, which is JSON along with some additional data types and features. Alright, so values can contain strings, numbers, arrays, objects, object IDs, and null values. Object IDs are actually created automatically by MongoDB and used as a unique identifier. Alright, so documents are stored in collections, which can be loosely compared to tables, although you usually don't have to predefine collections like you would with a table. You can do it through your application. So let's take a look at a quick example here of a document, and if you know, like I said before, if you know JSON syntax, this should look very, very familiar. We have an underscore ID field, which usually is an object ID. Here I just have it as a 1, but it's usually an object ID, which is a long string of numbers. Then we have a name, which is a string value of John Doe. We have an email with a string value, an age with a number value. Okay, now if you're using decimals or floats, those are going to be number field types. Address, this is actually an embedded object. So we have a street, a city, and a state, which are all strings. And then down here we have memberships, which is an array of strings. Alright, so we can use these data types within MongoDB. Alright, so now that we know what MongoDB is, let's jump into Windows and get it installed. And then after that, we'll take a look at installing it in Linux.